I didn't want to make this video. I really should not have to say this. If you only make it this far in the video, just take away these two things. Number one, being poor or having less money does not make anyone a less valuable person. And number two, having money, being wealthy, whatever, doesn't automatically make you a good person. It's a life lesson that some people need to learn, or maybe they just need a reminder. If you walk away from this video right now learning those two life lessons, we're good. But if you want to know what led to the creation of this video, keep watching. So I've joked in my podcast several times that finfluencers hate poor people, and that joke has always been a little tongue-in-cheek, like it is a joke, but there's also been some truth behind it. That said, I never thought it was something that I'd actually see outright, and it was never something I thought I'd have to make a whole video about, but here we are. So I was scrolling Twitter the other day and I came across this post. And the comments were full of people spouting the exact same narrative. A few people were standing up against it, but the vast majority, probably 90+% of the comments, were agreeing with it, laughing, and that made me angry enough that I felt the need to make this video. Let me say, I've said this several times before, and I do honestly believe it, that we in the online personal finance, financial nerd, whatever you want to call us, community, are pound for pound the best community on the internet, but that's not to say we don't have our shortcomings. And I think this mentality is one of the biggest things wrong with our online community, and I really think that we're better than this. And before anything is said or I get into this any further, I'm blacking out the name and profile picture of the person who posted this, all the commenters, and everything else that I mentioned for the remainder of this video. Why? Well, for number one, I don't believe anyone deserves to be harassed for this. And number two, I believe this is a community-wide problem that we can't just pin down on one person. Just know, in some of the screenshots that I've already shown here are a lot bigger influence as me. We're talking more YouTube subs, more Twitter X followers, more Instagram followers, bigger social presences, all that stuff. And the thing that really summed this all up for me and really got me to the point that I felt the need to make this video is when the original poster doubled down with this comment. And yes, you can. That all said, let's talk about the psychology of money and get a few things straight. Psychology and money absolutely go hand in hand. Everyone's money habits, from your budgeting to your spending, saving, investing, and everything in between, are influenced by your psychology, which of course is influenced by your upbringing, your past experiences, your traumas, and your overall view of the world and where you think you're going in life. That's true for me, that's true for you, and that is true for every single other person in the world. And that's why financial education has to go beyond just teaching people to budget, save money, invest, or whatever. It's really a process of building sustainable systems that work on an individual level to help individuals build wealth. After all, it is personal finance, not general finance. And that's why I speak out a lot against the one-size-fits-all financial plans. They shove people into a box that may or may not work for them. Another point that I want to talk about here is financial stress. In my opinion, financial stress is the absolute worst type of stress. It's insidious and it can take over every single aspect of your life. I can say from personal experience, it's hard to focus at work when you don't know how you're paying rent or the mortgage that month. And that also is another reason why financial stress is the worst. It intrudes on every other aspect of life and it doesn't stop. It's hard to sit down and relax with a movie or a video game or even go on a walk when you're worried where your next meal is coming from. Add on to that a spouse or a child or children that you're responsible for, and that stress grows exponentially so quickly. The reason that I bring this up is because looking through the comments on this post, a lot of the things that people mentioned were alcohol, cigarettes, events, gambling, lottery tickets, restaurants, and vacations. But when we look at the root of these purchases, alcohol and cigarettes are a way of coping with stress. Not saying they're a healthy way of coping with stress, but people do use them to cope with stress. Gambling and lottery tickets are hope. In theory, you could win a lot of money near immediately and immediately fix your financial woes in your situation. Vacations, events, concerts, restaurants are in a lot of ways a distraction. If stress clouds your day-to-day and it's basically impossible to escape in your home, work, whatever your day-to-day routine is, these changes can be a temporary reprieve from that stress. Now, let me say, I'm not advocating for these purchases, but if you truly want to help somebody get their money on track, build wealth, whatever you're promising, the way to make real changes is to identify the root and the cause of these purchases rather than just attacking them. Again, we're looking to create better, healthier, and more sustainable systems for the individual. Wrapping this all up, in my opinion, posts like this almost make it sound like it's a choice to be poor, live in poverty, whatever it may be. And not like the fake gurus we've talked about before where they say, it's a choice to make $100K a year or whatever bullcrap they're spouting this week. More so they make it sound like someone chooses to wake up and say, I'm gonna struggle paying rent and feeding myself this month. Nobody makes that choice. Nobody would make that choice. That said, another thing I do want to talk about in this video is the power of hope. When you're down and out and financially stressed in a situation like we've discussed here, it's easy to lose hope. It is very, very easy to not see a way out. So sometimes all it takes to help or get someone on the right track financially and maybe break some bad habits is to give them hope. Show them what little steps they can begin taking to get their money on track and get to a better place. And lastly, quick disclaimer, have I been guilty of pushing this narrative too at times? I have. But I am working to get better, and I do really want to change this narrative because as finfluencers, financial coaches, whatever you want to call us, however you want to label me, we got to do better. And if we're here to help, like basically all of us claim to be, we need to be ready to help everybody. That all said, as always, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, please make sure to subscribe. I am still on the road to 1,000 subs, and I would really, really appreciate it if you help me get there. Oh yeah, and follow me on social media. I've got some cool stuff planned later this year, early 2024, that I'll be announcing really, really soon. And I'll be announcing it there first. So again, follow me, stay tuned. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and check back next week for another video.